Today I fucked up by not noticing signals and not getting laid when she was literally throwing herself at me. Last weekend, I, 25M, ended up going out with an older coworker, 34F, to a bar. We were chatting it up, everything was great. She was nice enough to let me crash at her place instead of driving home, which I thought was super sweet. We get to her house, I asked if I just make a bed on the floor or on the couch. She said no, that I would sleep with her in the bed. I thought, oh okay, sure. Not gonna argue, it's her house. As I go inside her room, I check my phone for one singular second, and now she's changed from her work clothes to pajamas, shirt and shorts, nothing crazy. Asked if I needed to give her the room. She said nah, it's fine, so I figured she's just super comfortable around me. We then sit on her bed, drinking and smoking a lil, then she puts on a movie on her phone and we were listening to it, then we went to bed. No big deal, right? Then the next morning everything seemed fine. I drove her to work and we also grabbed McDonald's, wished her a good shift, then drove home and changed and went back to work. Fast forward to tonight, I tell a confidant of mine at work about the ordeal. They flipped the fuck out when I said no after they asked if we had sex. She said she put all the signals in my lap and yet I still didn't read the room. The more I thought about it, the more now fucking embarrassed that I am that I was significant other oblivious to all the signs. I am now balled up in a corner about to get higher than giraffe pussy so I can try to forget this whole embarrassing ordeal. I am now literally at the mercy of when I see her again. God only knows when due to the schedule being iffy. I don't have any of her socials, no phone number, nothing. I could literally die RN. Too long did not read. I ended up going home with a coworker and didn't read any of her advances of trying to fuck and now I'm a die of embarrassment. It's fine bro, if she was down just the other day, she would more than likely still want to sleep with you if you made some advances in the coming days. The only thing that may change her mind is that you're coworkers and it's typically not a great idea to sleep with somebody you see at work every day. She may have decided that it was a bullet dodged, and you missed your shot. Maybe not though, you would have to pursue further to find out. If I had $1 for every time I was too oblivious to notice blatant flirting, and more, I would have, I dunno, at least enough for lunch from the full price menu at Taco Bell. I was standing behind a hot older woman at the grocery store checkout the other day and the checker was a bit confused as to whose groceries were hers and mine and asked if we were together. The smoking hot woman looked me dead in the eye and said, not yet. Like 3 days later it dawned on me, person facepalming. In high school, I had a guy, my crush, give me his senior photo, wallet-sized, of him wearing leopard print underwear on a couch, George Costanza-esque, with his number on the back. Did I get the hint to call him? No. TBH, I'm reading this and struggling to see at what point she was throwing herself at you. Man, I am split on this one. Sure, you missed a bunch of signs. But also dude, you're playing with fire dipping your pen in company ink. You better be absolutely sure she's far away from you on the org chart. And maybe also get verbal consent. TIFU. I accidentally clove oiled my balls and it was worse than wisdom teeth removal. So tell me why I'm getting ready for bed, right? I had a fresh new pair of underwear laid out. I've been using clove essential oil mixed with castor oil for my hair. Just a few drops in my hand, rub it on my scalp, feel the nice burn. All good. But tonight, I foolishly moved my long ass arms and knocked the cap off the clove oil. It flew across the room and landed on the ground. No big deal, or so I thought. About a minute later, I feel the most horrible pain imaginable. Like, worse than getting all 4 of my wisdom teeth out. It literally felt like my balls were being melted off in real time. Turns out, there must have been just enough clove oil on the cap, and somehow it got onto my balls when I bent over or something. I sprinted to the bathroom, washed with water, which made it burn even worse, and stood there half naked in full regret mode. After what felt like an eternity, I slapped some vitamin E oil on there. Blessed relief. The pain stopped, but now I've got blisters, shame, and trauma. Anyway, I hate having long arms. But I think my balls will be okay. Too long did not read. I put clove oil on my balls and it burnt so bad that I thought I was going to pass out and there is blisters everywhere and I don't think I'm going to recover. Brother, you have chemical burns on your balls, you need to go to the hospital. Trust me when I say they won't judge you for it, they've seen worse and far more idiotic things. Maybe go to the hospital since blisters make it sound like chemical burns. You have to make sure there is no serious damage. Been there. I one time put Tiger Balm on my lips because I thought it was lip balm. Once I knew that it was for sore muscles, I put it on my upper thigh after pulling my groin. You know the rest. Once the pain hit, I vividly remember running stark naked through the house to the shower and my mom asking, "What's wrong?" And my dad yelling, "What the hell is going on?" Once I got out of the shower and told them, we all laughed at my expense. Fun fact. Clove oil is used in lube as a relaxing agent for anal sex. Bro is an oil vendor. Thankfully I have none of those random things in my home, never mind on my balls. Thank God you had the random antidote for the random thing you got on your balls. Today I fucked up by drinking a smoothie with a coworker. So, this didn't happen today, it happened on Friday, just realized this is right up this sub's alley. So, on Friday, I was decided to hang with a new coworker for the first time after work while our boyfriends were working, busy. We both wanted some food but not something huge, so we stopped by a smoothie place. We both got a smoothie with dragon fruit, strawberries, raspberries, mango and mango juice. Everything is going well as we walk the few blocks to his place and get settled in to chat and play some games. I realize I haven't eaten anything in a while and I am feeling a bit shaky, so I drink a normal amount of gulps from my smoothie, not even a tenth of it, maybe 10 gulps. I feel it hit my stomach immediately like a rock. I assume it's just my anxiety and or the caffeine and not eating in a while, so I just drink some water and chill. Within minutes though, I'm burning up and I feel like I'm going to puke. My anxiety kicks up even more and I ask for a wet paper towel to help me cool off. That does absolutely nothing, and so within another 5 minutes, I'm running to the bathroom and puking up everything I just drank. Afterwards, I can't talk, my throat is absolute raw mess, and I'm realizing that I've been having increasingly weird reactions to berries over the last 8 months. I'm freaking out, my coworker is freaking out, I take a Benadryl, call my partner and then end up calling 911 to make sure that I wasn't going into anaphylaxis. They cleared me but now I can't eat any fruits, especially berries until I can get testing done, just in case. I went to the store yesterday and I almost cried because I couldn't get some of my favorite foods for cross-contamination concerns. And I managed to have to call 911 on the first time hanging with a new friend. Too long did not read. I drank a smoothie and found out I am allergic, causing me to have to call 911 and now avoid all fruits and berries until further notice. Not a fuck up. I hope you're okay op. Get a list of ingredients in the drink you got and talk to an allergist. They'll get you squared away pretty quickly. I randomly gained a shellfish allergy when I was like 25 while in Vegas. Had a lobster roll for lunch and was fine. Dinner rolled around and suddenly I had an anaphylactic reaction to one of the several foods I had. Made a list, went to an allergist, and did a prick test. Now I know I'm allergic to all shellfish. The plus side is that some allergies will get better over time. Mine only gets worse each time I have a reaction, so hopefully yours isn't one of those. Not a fuck up at all. You found out in a not good way that you were allergic, where you weren't before. I went on a date with a guy to a seafood place his choice and after a few minutes in, he starts having breathing troubles and turning red. We pile into my car and I take him to the fire department around the corner, closer than a hospital, and they take care of him with like EPI pens and shit. And sure enough, he's now allergic to shellfish. So much so that he can't be in any place where shellfish might have been. And he had eaten shellfish many, many times. So, no, not a fuck up. Allergies can come out of nowhere. Feel better, op. Edited to add a paragraph mark and a word. Mango skin has a known allergen. You're calling this a fuck up but the friend sounds like a real one. Thank them. None of that was your fault. Stuff happens. Hope you find some help. Today I fucked up by trying to get bigger. Okay, so I ain't the most confident guy in the work when it comes to body image. Penis size. I heard about penis enlargement and I saw that it's actually possible to increase length and girth. Okay, I thought, I had to take the first step and start as soon as possible. Then I finally took initiative to start the process. Felt proud for managing to search and buy. I got myself a stretcher and a pump online. What I didn't expect, the sellers would put the fucking label on the package. The stretcher got here with label, toys, for adult entertainment, very suggestive in my country. My sister signed it cause I wasn't at home. Pretty sure she read that label and wondered what I had inside that box. 1 week later, today, the pump arrives. My mom got the package. I don't think she tends to read labels, to be completely honest, but there is a chance she did, and that one was even worse. Automatic pump for penis with LCD penis extend. It cuts, thank God, but not like you can't find out if you think enough. I am just that type of guy who's pretty chill. I felt like my whole life was just exposed. Not sure what I expect posting that shit here, but I genuinely wish I could dig a fucking hole and dive deep into it. The seal was almost broke. I could see that someone tried to see through the external package to check what's inside, no clue if that was the mail guy or my mom, and I honestly don't know what's worse. Pretty sure I'll be anxious, paranoid and probably, much more insecure for a while. Too long did not read. Bought a pump and a stretcher to increase the size of my PP. But mom and sister probably read the package labels and I feel like dying now skull. Edit the 1st of April 14. At this point I am not even sure if I care that much about the embarrassment after all that flame I've been getting. I appreciate the very kind words of some, though. They were more impactful than the hateful ones, for sure. I ain't dropping the stretcher though, and no, my dick is not dropping. I don't recommend that shit to anybody though, cause harming yourself is indeed a possibility depending on what you're doing. Much love, and let this post be something that guys who relate can check and get some advice that is way more relevant than penis enlargement, like going to therapy. I have never disagreed with that, by the way. Your first foo is believing it's possible to increase length and girth. It's not. If it works, you get a ruined dick. The only foo is thinking a pump will do anything to help grow size. Cold sweat smile. I've got a big head, not the penis one. I can't shrink it. It used to bother the hell out of me, and I get teased about it. The most freeing thing in the world is to realize that some things in your life you have the power to change, and some you do not. By giving zero attention to the things that can't change, you'll be a happier person. Welp, if it works, then at least that's one less source of anxiety for you to worry about. Though in all seriousness, I'd suggest therapy. Counseling would do more for your self-esteem than pseudoscientific body mutilation. You got scammed. This stuff is all a scam. I would bet you a lot of money the research you refer to as nonsense designed to get you to buy something that will break your dick.